Hi, everybody, and welcome to a special Thursday edition of the weekly market wrap. I'm actually leaving for vacation tomorrow, so I figured get this one out on Thursday before I left. So it is July 13th, 2017, and we actually have a bunch of things going on in the market this week. First off, it's interesting to note how many companies we actually have on our focus list. So they're starting to add up and they're not getting pulled off by hitting stop losses, most likely, which means that the market is pretty strong overall. So we saw this consolidation in the market over the past, I would say, this is a daily chart of the S&P 500 ETF. So basically, the past couple of weeks, we were able to see this kind of pullback here for a little while. And now all of a sudden we broke out of this range with a gap up and continued to move higher. So it bodes well. And what I wanted to do was just let you know that we're not removing any company from the focus list this week. However, we are adding a company to the focus list. So we're adding another company. It's called Akebia Therapeutics. Now, this company, anytime you hear therapeutics or biotechnology, you have to be very careful with your risk. Okay. So if you want to not have the possibility of losing 20% or more than that, you probably shouldn't even be involved with this one because it is risky. As you can see, but this is a weekly chart of AKBA. It trades on the Nasdaq, currently trading at $14.11. And each one of these sticks here, these candlesticks, is a week move, uh, weekly move, I should say, WEEK, week move, in the price of the stock. So what we see here is every once in a while, from $9 to $13 in a week is a heck of a week. From 16.50 down to $14.50 is also a heck of a week. So we get very big volatile moves. So what I did with this one is I put in a stop loss, just basically at $11.72, or essentially this low right here. And we're looking for a big move to the upside, up around $20. So the reason we're putting this on the focus list, the director of this company, his name is Munir Satir, he bought over 1 million shares worth of this stock, or about $15 million worth of it, at $14.50. So right up here. Now, amazingly, the last time he bought shares, he bought $3.4 million worth of the stock back when the stock was trading at $8.25. So it was actually back in the year 2015. So right around this level. And what wound up happening is it based for a long time, it broke out, and now all of a sudden he's coming in with a really big purchase at a higher price than he previously bought. So that is exactly what we're looking for. A company that has an insider that's been successful, that's buying, and this purchase is pretty big. It's $15 million. So we have a big reward risk scenario with a big player investing a lot of money. So this is kind of it's probably, I'm not going to say all or nothing, but it's going to be either a big winner or we're going to get stopped out of this thing. That's probably what the case will be. So if you're feeling lucky, or if you want to do a little high risk, high reward scenario, this is it for you. Secondly, I want to go back to that S&P 500 chart that we were looking at before. So um, we have something interesting happening. So there are three things that I just wanted to mention before we close out the video. Number one, we have bank earnings tomorrow morning, which is Friday morning, the 14th. And then we start to kick off earnings season for the second quarter. So meaning we just ended the second quarter and now they're going to start the report. So if these earnings are good, it'll really lay the foundation for higher prices. And the reason why I say that is Janet Yellen was out this week doing testimony in front of Congress, and she's the head of the Federal Reserve. And she's saying that, hey, you know what? I know we've been kind of raising interest rates. She's going, but maybe we don't have to raise interest rates as much going forward. Now that's like music to the market's ears. Okay. If they're not, if the market doesn't have to fight the Fed or fight the high interest rates, then more money's going to flow into the stock market. I think that's part of the reason why we're starting to see this price start to break out. The other two things are political, but they still affect what's happening in the market. So one is that Gary Cohn, the ex Goldman Sachs guy, is now looking to possibly be the head of the Federal Reserve after Janet Yellen. There's some reports on that. Now, a lot of people don't like Goldman Sachs. A lot of people think they're fine. I don't care what you think, and you don't care what I think. But the reality is, it's good for the market to have a Goldman Sachs guy at the head of the Fed. He is the market. He is the guy that has been brought up in a high capitalistic society and a big way to go out there and value the markets. And when you have the Fed essentially looking for higher markets because you have a Goldman Sachs guy in there, it's good for the market. So that's another reason why we could see the markets go higher. Secondly, or thirdly, I should say, um, we actually have a chance of passing some sort of a healthcare bill out of Congress. Now, I knew this was going to be the case when they started to threaten the fact that they weren't going to go on vacation early. So I figured that they're just going to try and pass something just so that they can get on their break. And that's what it seems like is happening. They're going to pass something. It may not be what everybody wants, but it's going to be something. And that something may lead to the next step, which the market is yearning for, which is tax reform or tax cuts. If we could see that go through, if we could see Yellen ease up on interest rates, good earnings, if we could see more talk about Gary Cohn coming in to lead the Fed, and we could actually get something passed in Congress, it's setting up for a very, very good environment. So I'm not being somebody who is going to, in one way or the other, try and predict which way the market's going. I'm just observing what's happening. And I still see more buyers than sellers when it comes to insiders. I see the market hanging around new all-time highs, which usually the top, they don't hang around here too long if it's the actual top. And I see some things getting pushed forward in the market's favor. So I know I'm a little long-winded this week, and part of the reason is next week I am going to be on the road, and I will send out an email on Friday evening next week, but it probably won't have a video attached to it. So I'll just let you know what we're adding, why we're adding it, and prices as far as projected risk and projected target. So I know it's a little bit early this week, but enjoy your weekend. I appreciate the time that you've given me today, and I'll go ahead and send something out next week, and then we'll be back in business on the week after that, the Friday after that. So thanks so much for tuning in. Appreciate it, and wish you all the best.